My name is Alejandro Lojo, and I am a graduate student in the School of Global Public Health at New York University. Today I will be discussing the uranium mining waste contamination over a 20-year period in Mailuu-Suu, Kyrgyzstan. It is considered to be among the top 5 most dangerous environmental disasters in modern history. I will be going over the objectives, what exactly happened in Mailuu-Suu, the impacted regions, the environmental impact, the health impact, including the cancer incidence in the region, along with the prevalence of birth anomalies, what is happening in Mailuu-Suu today, and then closing up with the summary and references. The objectives of this presentation are to describe Mailuu-Suu and its importance to the former USSR for uranium mining from 1946 through 1968, to discuss the environmental impact caused by uranium mining tailing pits, discuss the health impacts caused by uranium toxic waste, and to describe Mailuu-Suu today and the concerted efforts to reduce adverse health conditions caused by the radioactive waste. A bit about Mailuu-Suu, Kyrgyzstan. It's a small town with a population of approximately 24,000 located in the southwest region of Kyrgyzstan in Central Asia, located in the Fergana Valley, which is a densely populated region along the Mailuu-Suu River stretching from Kyrgyzstan to Uzbekistan. Mailuu-Suu was the site of a large-scale uranium mining from 1946 through 1968 during the Soviet era. Uranium is used for fueling nuclear power plants and is used in the production of nuclear weapons. 10,000 tons of uranium oxide was extracted from Mailuu-Suu between 1946 and 1968. It was essentially built on toxic radioactive wasteland. 2 million cubic meters of radioactive waste is buried underground and at 23 dumps around the town. Here's a map of the impacted regions of the Fergana Valley. As you can see, it stretches from southern Kyrgyzstan through northern Uzbekistan, along the Sirdarya River and the Mailuu-Suu River. Along the way, you can see that there are several radioactive toxic waste storage facilities, and the areas shaded in gray are at risk of contamination. The environmental impact in Mailuu-Suu. There was an increased number of landslides that have contributed to dispersion of radioactive waste along the Mailuu-Suu River. These landslides are attributed to an increased rainfall in the region over the years. Heavy seismic activity in the region also contributes to further movement of radioactive waste by breaking up tailing storage sites. The Mailuu-Suu River, farmlands, and crops have all tested for significantly high levels of uranium and arsenic throughout the Fergana Valley. Animals, including cattle, rabbits, and goats, tend to have high levels of uranium, as does the water and vegetation. People consume these every day. The chart to the right represents the landslides in Mailuu-Suu over the years, having fewer than 50 in 1950, all the way up through more than 200 in the year 2000. The landslides have definitely contributed to the contamination. The health impacts in Mailuu-Suu include cancer. The cancer rates in Mailuu-Suu were nearly twice as high than the rest of Kyrgyzstan between 1986 and 2000. Lung, breast, and stomach cancers are the most prevalent in Mailuu-Suu. Studies showed that gastrointestinal cancers were 2 times higher among those who reported drinking the water from the river when compared to others who obtained it elsewhere. Radioactive materials have been found in high concentrations in people's hair. The bar graph to the right for 1970 to 1985 represents data from USSR Cancer Registry. The years of 1986 to 2000 and 2001 to 2015 actually do represent Mailuu-Suu in the dark green and Kyrgyzstan in the light green. From 1970 to 1985, there was no specific information available for cancer incidents in Kyrgyzstan and Mailuu-Suu. Additional health impacts in Mailuu-Suu include birth defects. The table to the right, the pie chart, shows a comparison between Mailuu-Suu and the nearby town of Zuzak. With 10 times the population, Zuzak had 15 fewer children in 2014 with reported congenital defects when compared to Mailuu-Suu. In Mailuu-Suu, there are 24,000 residents and 180 children were reported to have these birth defects. By comparison, Zuzak had 240,000 residents, with 165 children reported to have birth defects. These include central nervous system, spina bifida, musculoskeletal, and heart. And several studies have shown high levels of radioactive elements in human placenta. Malformations have been linked to living in close proximity to radioactive waste sites and the consumption of the river water, as previously mentioned. In recent years, typhoid fever has been reported at alarming rates, averaging approximately 100 cases per year, compared to the 50 nationwide. The bacteria that causes typhoid fever has been found in the Mailuu-Suu River as late as December, which is wintertime, suggesting that radioactive elements are warming the river's water. What is happening in Mailuu-Suu today? There are continuous inspections of homes in close proximity to tailing pits. Water and crops are inspected for radioactive elements. Water filters have been introduced. However, they often need replacing every 6 months due to high levels of uranium and other metals in the water. In the last 2 decades, cancer incidence in Mailuu-Suu has been reduced to these efforts by nearly 50%. These rates remain high, however, when compared to other parts of the world. Political issues have also taken center stage. Table to the right compares current incidence among the 4 most common cancers in the region. These cancers are not only the most common in Mailuu-Suu, but are also in the 3 neighboring nations that were subject to high levels of contaminants and radioactive waste during the Soviet era. To summarize, uranium mining in the former USSR was conducted without any proper safety measures or plans to contain the radioactive waste from leaking. Additionally, no federal funds were allocated to care for people affected by relocation or medical bills directly related to the toxic waste. Mailuu-Suu is considered among the top 5 worst environmental disasters in the world. Uranium, radon gas, arsenic have contributed to the high incidence of cancer and congenital deformities. Communities in the Central Asian region bear the consequences of unregulated or lax cleanup processes. Mining requires strong regulations by federal governments and companies to prevent environmental hazards and must hold parties responsible for safe and proper cleanup. Thank you for listening.